WLS.
Time we clean it up, we'd be into another break.
We're going to come back. We're going to take some calls, 591-8900. You talk about strike. Kids in Milwaukee and the schools are on strike. We'll tell you that and a whole lot more right here as we continue on 89 WLS. It's 9:30, time for news, weather, traffic.
When you need it most, 89 WLS.
9:37. Remember, so much happens while you're at work each day. Row and rope or wrap it all up with some big name guests, news, traffic, and some laughs. Afternoons 2 to 6 right here on Chicago's Talk Leader 89 WLS. Hooray! Jay Cartford, John Cass in for Bruce and Dan right now.
Jake, what's up?
Not much. Up in Milwaukee. This is my favorite story of the day because I warned people this was coming.
He warned me. What he's saying is he warned me, and I didn't pick up on it for a column.
Back in 2010, the federal government came up with this program that Michelle Obama wanted about kids eating healthy in school. It has gone into effect. Maybe, parents, you may know about it already. Maybe you don't. They limit the number of calories kids could have at school during the day and what they can serve.
These are teenagers.
The type of meals. Because as Michelle Obama said, we can't just leave it up to the parents. That's what she said.
Because why? How would we know how to best feed our own children?
The government knows better.
Right. So
what is happening up in Milwaukee, the kids have gone on strike. They are boycotting the cafeteria food. And they make a very good point that you've got the meals are one size fit all. If you're a 100-pound girl, maybe what they're serving is enough to get you through the day, especially if you have an early lunch. But if you're a growing boy playing on one of the sport teams, or even the girls playing on the sport teams, by the end of the day, it's not enough and you're hungry.
I think a little tiny wheat roll and a half a cup of lentils will not satisfy my guys. I guarantee you.
They said, for example, they have a sub-sandwich line at this one high school. They used to let the students pile veggies on a 6-inch French bread bun. Options now include a fist-size whole wheat roll or a multi-grain wrap. And it says the once popular line is now mostly empty. It's just...
so that we're driving them to bring McDonald's early to school?
Yeah, and that's
so they're going to sit and eat greasy burgers.
And that's what's happening. The kids are bringing their own lunches. Mm-hmm. They said, for example, out of the new lunches on this one school, they had what they called the Super Nacho Plate that had a total of how many tortilla chips do you think the Super Nacho Plate had on it in Michelle Obama's world?
You tell me, Jake.
Eight little chips.
Okay, for a teenager can eat a bag of chips, a roast beef, right? Drink about a gallon of water or milk. Then about 2 hours later, go out on the soccer or football field or lacrosse field or whatever and play. Come back, come home, do their homework, and say, Mom, I'm hungry. Mom, can you make me more dinner?
Plus, this is costing more money. So
wait, why? Because the smaller, it takes more labor to make it smaller?
Sure, and all the little carrot sticks and stuff like that.
That are pre-washed.
And stuff doesn't taste good. So as one person summed it up, says, it's worse tasting, it's smaller sized, and higher priced. That's the government.
You know what? Michelle eats at all those fancy restaurants, the kind where you get like a little, you don't get a big plate of meat and potatoes, but you get a little tiny little, I don't know.
Fancy.
Something made of foam that used to be something, how they do that foam food. That's where she's at now. But obviously she doesn't have teenage boys or girls. Her girls are still, I think the oldest one may be a teenager, but come on, wake up.
We just can't leave it up to the parents.
They're not worthy of raising their own children. We need the government in our lives all the time.
Yeah, and the other half of the story.
I'm waiting for her to set my alarm clock. Michelle, what time should I get up tomorrow?
And the other half of this story, where the schools are also getting affected, fundraising, where they used to bring in once a month like a slice of pizza for the kids or ice cream or whatever. Right. They can't do that now because too many calories. It has to be healthy. You can bring in little veggie sticks.
Oh, I can't wait to sell my kids on all the boys in high school at the lunch tables. What they really want are celery sticks.
And with the
right,
and with the economy the way it is, and the way the school budgets the way they are, there are programs they can't afford to provide. The taxpayers can't provide
trips for kids to go on field trips, or the band trip, and so on.
So they would have these fundraiser deals,
right,
where they come in, the parents get involved, they bring in stuff for the school, the kids buy it, they raise money that way. Well, they can't do that now because of the restrictions on the calories.
It just bothers me that it started with the gulp, right? The big gulp, Bloomberg with the gulp, Michelle. I was kind of for Michelle getting kids to run. I think that's a good thing, right? Have some physical education.
Well, now they're running out to McDonald's to buy lunch.
Yeah. Now they're going to get suspended for getting a bag of Ruffles under their jacket.
Marcia and Crystal Lake, welcome to 89 WS, Marcia.
Hi, good morning. I volunteered many years ago in a cafeteria that my kids attended at that time. I collected the quarters for the milk, and I made my own subtle observations, and I would watch kids dump an entire tray of food in the garbage and then give their quarter to a friend so that they could get that bag of Doritos. My point is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
What was the food? You were a mom. What did the food taste like?
Well, they were getting the cafeteria food. They had healthy meals at that time, the green beans and the mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but it's tasteless, right? You know what? How's this, Marcia? What if, Greece has got, the country of my ancestors has 25% unemployment. The one thing we know what they could do is we can run a restaurant and make it tasty, right?
Right.
Why don't we bring, maybe several thousand Greek guys over here to actually cook for these kids so they can eat something that they actually want to eat? Like maybe Monte Cristo sandwiches, franchises, things like this.
That's too many calories,
Come
John.
on.
Thank you, Marcia. Marcia's one of my 10 most favorite female names. Let's go to Cindy in Orland Park. Hey, Cindy.
Yeah, I find it ironic that Mrs. Obama, who's a liberal Democrat, and the pro-choice women of 40 years ago, women have the right to do whatever they want with their own bodies. However, they're now trying to tell people what to eat with their own bodies. I don't understand this hypocrisy. I mean, we should have bumper stickers that say, we'll eat what we want because it's our own bodies, and we'll do what we want with our own bodies.
We can't just leave it up to the parents, Cindy.
Cindy, I really don't care what you eat as long as you don't take my money and tell me what to eat.
Exactly, but this is really scary when they keep encroaching on all of our personal freedoms. However, the pro-choice movement thinks that women should have the right to do what they want with their own bodies. Mrs. Obama thinks it.
Except the food they put down their throats. Thank you, Cindy. 9:44, back after this.
89 WLS. It's one of the most important choices you'll make this year. WLS.
Here's today's deal. Avenue Ale House, 50% off. Go to sweetjack.com for burgers, wings, and beers on the rooftop at Avenue Ale House. 9:51, John Cass with Jay Cartford in for Bruce and Dan, talking about schools in Milwaukee. The kids are boycotting the new school lunches, and maybe happen around here. We don't even know.
Because they're not tasty, okay? I don't know. How does it, part of my job is political columnist, etc. on page 2. The other part is doing occasional cooking videos, right? I'm the father of the beer can chicken.
Aren't you? There's a rumor that you are the hidden gourmet that writes the column where your identity is not known. Is that true?
That is, I'm not going to say, but because I don't want to speak to the identity of that person. But listen, can you take a jalapeno pepper, fill it with sausage, stuff some dates in there, smoke it with bacon around it? You don't think kids will eat that? Come on.
Paul in Hinsdale. Paul's gone. Let's go to Barbara in New Lenox. Hey, Barbara.
Hi. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
It's in regard to the school lunches and breakfasts and dinners and whatever. I guess I don't understand why the schools have taken on the responsibility of feeding these low-income, no-income children.
Well, these are all-income students that get fed.
Why are we doing that? I mean, can't even the low-income with WIC cards or food stamps or whatever it is they have, can't they buy a loaf of bread and a jar of peanut butter and a gallon of milk and a box of cereal?
Yeah, but schools historically have always had cafeterias for kids to have, get lunch.
I never had it.
To get a
How old are you?
I'm 71.
Well, that's okay.
Came from a family of 9 children.
They didn't have heat in your day.
Well, we took a bologna sandwich or a peanut butter sandwich wrapped in wax paper and a piece of fruit.
Barbara, when I was a kid, we had to kill our own bologna.
So you had to walk to school in the snow, right?
I did.
When I was a kid, we would sometimes have Greek food, and all the kids would look at what is that? It was like a big challenge.
Thanks, Barbara.
Well, anyway, it doesn't address.
Because they wanted to eat it.
Why are we feeding them? Why are we doing this?
Because that's what we do, so kids could eat, so they can get through the day, not without being hungry.
It's good. Look, I tell you, Jake. Call my Uncle Bill. He lives in Canada now, beneficiary of the healthcare system there. Call him down here. He makes great navy bean soup and other stuff. Just have Uncle Bill run the whole, all the Milwaukee kitchens, and those kids will eat. They'll gain 10 pounds and they'll be happy.
Lay off me, I'm starving.
School talk will continue for the next hour as we continue. Who we having on at 10:07?
We will have Juan Rangel from the United Neighborhood Organization.
UNO,
which is a group that is a political group that runs charter schools.
9:54 back after this.
89 WLS. 89 WLS.
9:59, Chicago's talk leader, 89 WLS, on the air and on iHeartRadio. One more hour to go. John Cass, Jake Hartford, in for Bruce and Dan, and then Rush and Rowan Roper. Your day is complete. Don't change the dial.
Just sit there.